And so when we recognize how powerful we really are, and that everything that shows up is for our highest and best good because we created it, our unconscious, our subconscious, which is direct connection to our higher self, is the one that says, this vibration, this energy, this kind of character, this kind of situation, this is what's showing up. So as soon as I relax and love everything that I have in my life.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good day.
Yeah, good day. Hi, Moira. Hi, inspirational listeners. Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with myself, Debz, and
Moira. Nice intro.
They're like, what is that intro? That's just a random one.
We're just making it up as we go along.
Yeah, just like we do. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, I am so super inspired about today's topic. This is
it's going to be a good one.
I know we do say it's going to be a goodie and we do get a little bit excited, but I think this is actually just a real great one, which everybody knows what it is clearly because they can already see it. Yep. Unless at the start
unless they just clicked play and didn't look at their screen.
Yeah, which would be even funnier. but first, if you're a newbie to here, or if you're not a newbie to our podcast, what we do is we rate ourselves. And when I say rate ourselves, we go from a 0 to 10. 10. Queen's English. A 10. 10. A 10. A 10. A 10. Yeah. And a 10. And 0 being neutral to what's around you, not challenged, no bow and arrows coming to you, nothing's affecting you, you're sitting in that beautiful
peaceful
divine space.
Peaceful divine. Absolutely.
And 10 is, and I'm gonna say I don't get my accent, and 10 is that sort of number between 9 and 11, everybody, is rocking in the corner. When you're absolutely chaotic and nothing's going right and you want to kick the dog but you can't, or maybe you have, or you are just crazy about certain somethings, not crazy in love. Would that be like I'm trying to do a different introduction each time? I've clearly done that. Yeah, rocking in the corner or neutral.
Just feeling really stuck. At 10, you're feeling really stuck and wondering how on earth can you get out of this or get traction or start to feel better. So just kind of questioning and no solution seems to be landing for you.
Nothing's right.
And
your voice goes like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your eyes are piercing. Yeah. Even the sunshine annoys you, or the rain annoys you, or the curtains. Yeah. We all know those ones. And please don't think that you've never been a 10, because I'm sure if you actually all thought about it, you have been a 10, because I have, well and truly. So Moira, when you think about I'm actually going to do something different like we did one other time. I'm going to do the old where are you now, and where were you, what are you on the topic?
Right. No, I like doing that. Yeah. So where I am now, we've just had a big conversation, as we always do, before we hit record.
So maybe you and I go, where were you before we start the conversation, then after the conversation, and then the topic.
Well, before I hopped on here, I got a lot of stuff on my plate, and I probably put myself initially at probably like a 6. And then we talked, and we always calm each other down. Just, this is how things go. And so I probably came down to a 4, I would say. And then on this topic, the topic that we're getting to do, I'm going to say I'm at a 1, because there's always room for chilling out even more. But I have a lot of excitement on this one.
I'm laughing and laughing because they are my exact numbers.
You're going to say the same numbers.
I am. I'm going to say I was a 6 when we started talking, definitely. And I'm going to say I'm a 4 now. The topic is, topic's a 1. Yeah, that's so funny. 6,
That's
4,
hilarious.
1.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was laughing when you were doing this. I'm going, I bet you she bloody says a 4. I bet she bloody says a 1.
And you're so funny because you don't like it if I ask you first, but now look what happened.
I know. Well, so clearly everybody knows that Moira and I are in tune today.
Tapped in.
6, 4, and 1. So let us know your numbers of. Thanks, Moira, that we're the same. Let us know where you're at prior to this call, and this podcast, and if you'd like to let us know what you think about the topic, you're welcome to do that as well. Like, that would be super cool, because we try and shift it up and do something different each time, and we can clearly talk about anything and everything and come to that 0, 1, 2 level. For anyone, we can help you. So just let us know if you've got a particular topic or anything that you'd like to zen in on. But today we are talking about loving the life you are in. And there are so many catches in that. There's the word loving, and then the life, and then you are in, and you are, and then in. There's so much from this. So Moira, I'm going to throw this one at you. Loving the life you're in. Crack on. What would you like to say about that?
So to me, I absolutely love this whole topic, and I think it's so important to acknowledge and recognize that the life you're in, good, bad, upside down, whether
sideways,
you created it. You are the actor in your life. You're the author. You're the director. You have to think of your life. To me, I think we need to think of our life as it's a movie script playing out. But as spiritual beings, we wrote this script. And so when we recognize how powerful we really are, and that everything that shows up is for our highest and best good because we created it, our unconscious, our subconscious, which is direct connection to our higher self, is the one that says, this vibration, this energy, this kind of character, this kind of situation, this is what's showing up. So as soon as I relax and love everything that I have in my life, as opposed to, and this is something that people can get stuck by, is they might look at somebody else who has the perfect relationship, or they have these fancy holidays they get to go on, or they have this fancy car, or lots of money in the bank, whatever it is. And they say, well, look at them. I'm not that.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see, right in that comparing part, to me, if you can see it, you have it. So, if you see somebody going on that beautiful vacation, you can see it. So therefore, it's part of your energy too, as opposed to saying, oh, well, look at them, wonder what they did to be able to go off on that. Whereas if you can see it and recognize it and feel into the excitement, the fun, you can actually love where you are. Love your life because you've created it. You're the driver of your own bus, right?
Yeah. Captain of your own ship.
Yeah.
I think when I was growing up, it was definitely a finger pointing exercise I used to do, is people would say something and I go, well, you did that, you did that, you did that.
Right.
You know, it was definitely the old finger point.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've got older, there's nothing more sexier than seeing somebody, male, female, old or young, there's just something divine within us when someone goes, wow, I see how I manifested that, or I see how I drew that into my world, or wow, I didn't think I had so much power that I could have that come in and smack me in the face, or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that is just so, and I use the word sexy, just so divine, so beautiful to see someone take ownership of positive and negative situations, because they're just actually situations. If we label them, we can label them positive and negative depending on our emotion that day.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can just take ownership of that, wow, I did that, you know. And I was just talking to Moira off camera earlier, and I was talking about a friend, and she had this moan about somebody, and she is somebody who does not moan about, like, I actually can't even think about the last time I heard her moan about something. We've gone out to restaurants and it's had poor service or anything like that, and she hasn't been one to go, God, this is rubbish, you know. She's always like, wow, wonder why I drew this in, maybe I didn't really want this for a meal, or oh no, I didn't, you know. She really takes that ownership and accountability, and that is just such a massive divineness in us to see that somebody does that. And that is just, I would have said it was hard back in the day because I wasn't brought up like that. But then, you know, I don't think I was really brought up with point the finger either. But maybe I just didn't hear the take accountability. You know, if we learned that as a young age, that would have made a massive difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I like what you just said, though, that propensity to recognize what it is that you've attracted and be interested. You know, if you have a situation that's a little bit
Icky,
yucky, a little bit, bad service, or not quite what you initially said, I would like that.
Expectations aren't met. Yeah.
yeah. But then it's from that perspective that I mentioned a moment ago about it's my life. I'm creating it. So even if the words that are coming out of my mouth are, this is what I want, and then something different comes back, then it's time to say, oh, okay, I guess there was a disconnect, or I still created this. And remembering that it's for my highest and best good. So therefore I can celebrate it. Say thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can get too stuck on the, you know, if something great shows up and you go, oh my gosh, look at what happened. Isn't that an amazing synchronicity, or isn't that an amazing gift? Well, those kind of things are always possible. But when we get into judging it as an amazing thing that happened, it's like, well, no, you just created that. So how about love everything that you get to create and do?
It's really interesting. I just, the other day I went and bought some shoes, and I was in the shoe shop and their till went down, or register in your country probably, and it was over half an hour, and they kept trying, and they rang their head office, and everything was happening all the time, and they were just like, they're like, we are so sorry. I'm like, it's fine, I'm doing, you know. And so at that time I just had a JP adjusted the piece, signed some letters, so I took photos of that and I emailed it. So I got onto my emails while I was there. I was standing at the counter. I refused to sit down because I thought I'm going to get too comfortable, so I just stood at the counter, stretched my glutes, and I was doing emails and I was doing stuff, and they were just like, oh, thank you so much, we are so sorry, and I'm like, it's totally fine, ladies, it's totally, like, we had 5 staff members try and do this, and in the end they finally resolved it, and they gave us a couple of freebies, and they were just like, oh, thank you for your patience, thank you. And I was like, it's totally okay, ladies, like, it's fine. Right. Like, I didn't even notice. And it was only then that I realised we'd been there over 30 minutes just trying to get the register sorted, because time just flew by because I was doing stuff, but they kept apologising. And it was only when we left, my partner said to me, did you hear how many times they apologised? And I was like, yeah, they kept doing it. It's starting to annoy me. And they're like, yeah, but they probably don't have people who just go, you know, they probably had people, because it was during a lunch hour.
Right.
We were the only ones who were purchasing, but they probably had people who would lose their shite at them and go, this is not good enough. And I said, well, I did a lot of work. I actually did work that I wouldn't have done if I'd come home. So to me, it was actually a value that they were doing that, because it's got the stuff that I'd put off and knew I had to do. And I knew in the moment I got home, I wouldn't want to come into my office because the sun had gone and, you know, all these things. But it was perfect timing. And that was exactly it. You can say I manifested that or whatever it was to get the freebies, to get the things on my list done. But it was actually perfect. It was perfect timing for me to sit or stand and do those things. And I just really loved the opportunity that I had to do that, because I hadn't had that opportunity to do those things. So it was perfect. And it was, but I think they just hadn't experienced anyone who was just like, yeah, it's no problem. Like, it's no problem. Because it was no problem.
Right. But, you know, you brought up a really important point there about that when we really stay present to the life we're in and we choose to love the life we're in, then we get to flow with what shows up. And that's all that was, is an opportunity to flow with it or become a block to it and start, like you say, there's lots of people that would have complained and made it a big situation. So no wonder these cashiers were conditioned to keep apologizing. They hadn't done anything wrong, so they shouldn't have been apologizing at all.
I kept saying, don't worry about it. This is fine. I'm doing my work. Like,
Yeah.
I was really more perplexed at how much they were apologizing.
Right.
But it was the lunch hour, and I couldn't think of anything. Like, I couldn't, even if it was my lunch hour and I had to be back at work, I would have said, okay, give me a text when you're ready. I'll come back at my afternoon tea time, or I'll come and do this later or something. You know, like, it wasn't a biggie. Nothing was a biggie. And they just, it was really interesting to see them. And, you know, we did talk about it, and they were just like, you know, like you would have. And we talked about it with a friend, and she goes, oh my gosh, no, they wouldn't. They'd be used to people throwing their toys. I'm like, well, there's no point. I'm not going to get my shoes. I'm not going to get my stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And they said, you can order online if it's easier, go home, order online. I'm like, no, you 5 of you, 4 ladies and 1 man, like, I'm giving you the sale. You can have the sale. I don't want to order it online. You guys are exceptional with your service, and we're going to get this right as a team.
Absolutely. No, and so like I said, that feels very much like a flowing part. I think I might have shared this in one of our previous our conversations about a time where I moved provinces in Canada, and we had to go through a whole bunch of different paperwork to bring my car here. And
funny, good jump loops.
Yeah. So I had gone through, so it took me 4 months to get through all the different hoops that I had to jump through. And the final part was I took the papers, all the different papers, and had them all signed and everything, and took them into the office to get, I think it was to get a sticker for my plate or something, my driver's plate on my vehicle. And they looked at it and they said, oh, you bought this vehicle in another province and you didn't pay the tax that we have to pay here. So therefore you now owe us $300. And this was like the last straw of all this different thing. And inside I was like, oh, for goodness sake, not another hoop I had to jump through. But at the same time, it's like, well, it wasn't her fault. She's doing her job. And so I think I probably clenched my teeth.
Clenched my butt.
But I paid. And it's like, you know, it sucks, but I have to pay. And so when I was finished the transaction, I paid and got the paperwork. The girl that had served me asked me to wait for a second. Could I come over to another part of the desk? And she wanted to talk to me about something. So I come over.
You're
and
like,
she said,
oh, shite.
No, she said,
I would have been, oh, shite.
No, she says, hang on a minute. She goes into the back office and she came back out with this little slip of paper. She'd handwritten, I think it was an address. It was a government office. She said, She had never been treated with so much respect by somebody who had to pay. She said, I can't believe that you didn't yell at me, you didn't get upset. And I said, well, I was upset, but I knew it wasn't your issue. And so her point was that she said, I'm not sure about this, but you may be able to claim back all of your tax. And you have to write this to this office and give them this piece of paper and get this other form, which she gave me the form. So all that to say is that I went home with all of that. I did what she suggested, and I did get every single penny of that tax back.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
So this to me was such a big example of what I said to you about when we love our life, we flow with everything that comes up.
It's the energy.
Yeah.
The energy you gave her, loving energy with the clenched teeth, but you gave her that exchange of energy, and that energy came back. Yeah, that's exactly it. Look, everyone can be an a-hole, but the truth is, there's no point. Like, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to swing your thingy. It's an exchange of energy. When you gave her uplifting energy and like, okay, well, I got to do it. Yeah. Isn't that incredible that she just then went, God, no one's ever done that. You're the night, and then you get really like, why would people be a-holes all the time? I know. It's so unfortunate, because I felt really sorry for her. It's like, well, why, and I've witnessed other things like that. It's that you can understand when somebody gets upset. I mean, nobody wants to pay extra tax, do they? Oh, no one wants to pay anything extra than they have to. Yeah. Absolutely. No matter how much money you've got. Yeah. But it's the person who's delivering it. It's not their fault. It's not them that's made up that rule necessarily. No, well, that's exactly it. And that's that whole eggshells I've talked about, when you're walking on eggshells, you don't know what you're walking into, but yeah, I go back to these people at the counter in the shop that I was in, and they don't, they didn't know that their till was going to go down. Otherwise they would have started dealing with it, for us being in the shop half an hour earlier. They would have definitely started doing it. But loving the life you're in, to me, is about being present and grateful. Absolutely. Would be the two key things. And when I say present, just present right here, right now, and being grateful for right here, right now, whatever you've got in front of you. Exactly. Well, the thing about, so I like to say, be present and appreciate the now moment. Grateful can sometimes be that I'm looking at something that's past, whereas being appreciative helps me stay present even more, because you're actually really enjoying that moment as opposed to coming through to the other side, if that makes sense. Yeah, well, grateful for this situation, grateful for right here, right now, grateful for that presence. Yeah, appreciating the present. Yeah, and that is also for the highs and lows, the positives and negatives, for whatever experience it is. Appreciate that that the till was down, because it gave me an opportunity to do this and this. Yeah. Appreciate that they were over the top and they got to experience someone who was very calm, not throwing their toys in a crazy busy lunch hour, because they had, the store was busy. Right. And they kept it very quiet. Other people didn't know the till was down. They would talk to me, and then they'd whip out there and get a shoe for someone else and attend to that person. And someone was always, there was two people always at the till, trying to resolve it. Someone was on the phone to head office. And they were just, and in the end, they didn't have the shoes I wanted, because I couldn't also check where they were. So she said, I know we have them in New Zealand. They are in New Zealand. So they charge my card and they're sending them freight free to my house. Sweet. So that would have cost more money, or I would have had to have gone back to the store and have that. But it was just, I guess it is just about living in the moment and loving the life you're in.
Exactly. So the thing is that when you're loving the life you're in, you get to be the participant and the appreciator of what's showing up, and knowing that everything that happens is a gift, right? So and I love your example there, because you recognized that this sticky energy of not being able to buy something the way you would normally, that it was a gift because you got some extra work done. So that's something that when we really choose to love the life we're in, sometimes that means that we pause. We can maybe put our hand over our heart, or just take a deep breath and say, what's the gift here? What's the learning? What's the wisdom? What's the opportunity? Because there is ups and downs, negatives and positives. When we get too much into, oh my God, that's a negative and I have to run away from it and I have to, then we're actually, it's like we're stopping the actual flow of what's possible in a life that we love. Does that make sense?
Yeah, just when you think about stopping the flow, I think of standing in a running stream of water. And the pressure, and that's a perfect example, and it's the pressure building up on your legs until you feel the pressure too much. But that's exactly it. That's trying to stop the flow.
Yeah.
And it does get heavier and faster and colder.
Yep.
and more intense. There's so many examples of so if you were to, so Moira, if the chaos has happened around you and everything, what's your quick tip, TIP, on quick tip on getting present? What would your quick tip be?
A breathing technique, where you breathe in through your nose fully, and so fully that you feel it right in your breath, in your belly, and then out of your mouth audibly. And do at least 3. So what that is, it's like the off switch to the amygdala. So the amygdala is the part of the brain that is connected to our fight or flight, trying to keep us safe. Oh my God, this chaos is all around me. It's like, oh my God, I'm losing control. I'm gonna fall overboard, or I'm going to trip up, or I'm in danger. Ultimately, that amygdala response is, I'm going to die. That's what that fight or flight is. I have to do something because I'm going to die. It's not necessarily saying that, but that is the underlying fear. Now, that breathing technique, that full deep breath in through your nose and then sighing out loud, that is telling your amygdala, it's okay, all is well.
Yeah. And
so that also, by focusing on that breath, gets you right in this moment. Because let's face it, oftentimes when we're in a chaotic or tumultuous situation, part of us is shot into the past. It's like, oh my God, the last time this happened, blah, 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 blah. And the other part is shot off into the future of like, oh my God, if I don't cope with this, then I might fall overboard or lose my stuff or whatever it is, right? So it's all about coming here, because this is where you have all of that power, right?
Yep. That can be done no matter what state you're in. Like, I love that tip, because no matter what state you're in or where you are, some people do certain exercises and you're in public and you can't do them because you're worried about what other people think. And even though people say don't worry about what other people think, you so do. End of story.
Well, I do. To be honest with you, I'll do things in public where I'm like, yeah, you can laugh at me if you like. But that's just me.
So do I sometimes. Sometimes. But that's just a really simple one that people can remember to get the quickest results straight away. Yeah. And I love that. And I love the way you describe it, your amygdala, and you that whole thing, and I'm like, it just stops that pattern you're in.
Yeah.
My thing is, just takes you out of the state you're in, and you start focusing on your breathing. That's it.
That's it.
So I loved your analogy of it and how you explained. I was like, that's a great explanation. I'm like, how would you explain it, Deborah? Just stops you straight in your tracks, and you start focusing on your breathing, and then you're present, and that's exactly it.
That is it, because in actual fact, it is a pattern interrupt. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. With loving the life you're in, I talk about gratitude journals and things like that. With some clients do them, some clients don't. Count your blessings at dinner time, count your blessings when you wake up in the morning, count your blessings at night, count your blessings if you can't sleep. Think of the things you're grateful for. If this helps people, then write them down, because when you get yourself into a funk in a month's time or something, you can go, oh my God, far out life, I can't believe this has happened to me again. Go back to that book, or go back to that manual, or go back to those notes, and just go, oh my gosh, this has happened to me a month ago. Wow, what have I missed here? Or wow, look what happened, look what I got out of that. Journal it, track it, Excel sheet it.
The other thing that along those lines is, I am a big believer of having post-it notes, big post-it notes, and I know you do this, the heart on your mirror you do, which I think is a fabulous thing. But just to tell you, right as I'm talking to you, I have 3 different statements in front of me that are always there, so that I may not have time to go and grab my gratitude journal, or remember to read a list of affirmations or things that I appreciate or I'm grateful for. So the first one I have here says, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And so, all right, that's there. And then the other one.
So if you're having that crazy spin, you could just read that and go, oh, yes.
That's right. That's
reminder.
Right. Because that anchors me in the present moment too, because I'm reading that, it's like right in front of me, right? Yeah. The other one is about money, actually. I am creating a new script with money. Thanks, money, for changing your experience with me. I'm ready for more.
Ooh, I like that one.
And then the last one is, a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. And that just makes me laugh. Because that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And see, even just those little notes, there's a woman I know in America, and she is a firm believer on gratitude at a certain time. Mm-hmm. So she's actually got it tattooed on her arm, and the time. Mm-hmm. And so every day for the last 7 years, I think, or 9 years, it's quite some time. Yeah. She sees that time and she stops and has a moment of gratitude.
That's a cool
moment
thing
of appreciation, a moment of loving the life you're in.
Right.
And I know I was doing that at 11:11. Oh, in fact, I remember that time I was at a course with you. I was at that event and my phone went. Everyone said, that was 11:11. That was everyone said, turn your phones on silent, and I was so proud of myself, and I even turned to the lady and said, mine's on silent as yours, like goody two shoes. But you forget that if you set an alarm, it doesn't matter if your phone's on silent.
Yes, it still goes.
Yeah, so I'm in this room of 40 inspirational transformation leaders, someone presenting, and the phone goes off, and I'm like, oh, looking around like, oh, someone's naughty.
Who's that?
Oh no. That's me, and it's down on, and I'm on a stool high up, so to troop off the stool and rustle through my bag and just giggle bright red when I was already trying to blend in, and it just didn't work. And then I tried to explain, and I just said, carry on. I think I just said, no, carry on.
All is well over here.
Yeah, that was my 11:11 reminder, which I don't actually do on my phone anymore.
I don't blame you.
Purely,
that's funny.
Purely that was yeah. But those little reminders, if people need those reminders, just do what works for them. But
and that's the crucial piece. It's such an important piece, is to know what do you need. So like you say, do you need an alarm on your phone, or do you need these little post-its around you, or do you need to sit and do a journaling list, or do you need to have an audio that you listen to? Like, there's so many different ways, right?
Or do you have your favorite red lipstick? I'm just showing Moira my favorite red lipstick that I put on, and whenever I put this favorite red lipstick, I even put different red the other day, and it just didn't do the same. And I just went, I'm so grateful for this lipstick. I'm so grateful for my life.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
and that's even just putting on my red lipstick. My other red lipstick didn't quite match, so I'm back to my other one.
And that's actually a really good point.
Whatever it is.
You and I have often
Shared
each other's. Aren't they nice? I'm showing her my nails. So that I do these purple nails, and I absolutely love them. And that's me saying I love me. I love what I get to do. It shifts my energy, and it's really funny because I used to do it as a luxury item. Now this is
your branding.
It's my branding, it's who I am, but it reminds me that I'm worth it and that I love what I do and I love purple, and I don't have to explain it to anybody. It's what I love. And so that's what I'm encouraging people to do, is to find out what, the other one that I just thought of is that I think it's a really good thing, and I get a lot of my clients to do this. Think about what term of endearment did you like to be referenced by as a child. Did you like to be called sweetie or honey or pumpkin or cute pie? Or
mine was Bebos, because somebody couldn't say the word Deborah, so they called me Bebos, and that's how. And whenever my auntie or uncles always go Bebos, I go
cute. I love
Deborah.
that.
Deborah to Bebos. Yeah,
that's so cute. It's so that's really funny. As a complete side note, my name as a very young girl was Wawa, because I couldn't say Moira.
Oh.
And so that's how I said
Wawa.
So my name's Wawa.
You could be a Wawa.
Wawa.
You could. Yeah, Wawa. So this podcast is from Bebos and Wawa.
Yeah, there you go. But the reason I'm saying that is that because you deserve your own unconditional love. And so use the endearing, loving term to yourself. So in the morning when you wake up, you can say, come on, Bebos, what fun are we going to have today? Right?
I really like that.
What loving antics am I going to get up to today in this awesome day in front of me?
Wawa and Bebos. I love that. I love that. And that's a perfect way to wrap it up. What was that loving term? Because just from that, it gave me that whole warmth inside me of that, bringing back that
like a big hug.
Yeah. That cute, that niceness. Yeah, the divine energy. Yeah,
the divine energy, the niceness, but the flavor the flavor behind it is that you are seen, you matter, I love you. That it's those types of feelings that you want to anchor into, because that's what you deserve. And when you anchor into that, then you can actually recognize that you are living the life that you love. You're in it. It's right here. It's not a destination. It's not somewhere you get to. It's something you immerse yourself into and flow with.
Yeah, it's not somewhere to get to. It's where you immerse yourself. It's where it's just wrapped around you. Yeah. And it's natural.
Yeah.
It's not forced.
Yeah. So I hope that feels like a big warm hug to help you love the life you're in, that you created for yourself. So, dear listeners, wrapping this one up, we're going to check in again on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being completely loved, in love, loving everything about your life. And 10 is saying, oh my God, I don't know what on earth these people are talking about. I need tools, I need help. In which case, please contact us. You can message us.
Don't sit on the fence.
Yeah. So, Deb, on the scale of 0 to 10, where would you put yourself? Da, da, da. She's dancing.
Bebos is definitely a 0.
Wawa is a 0 also.
Yeah,
but
we know that.
We knew that. So, yeah. So any last little tidbit on helping people really love the life they're in?
Just take a moment, take a breath, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's something to say to your own self. Connect with you. Thank you. Thank you for putting me here. Thank you for creating this beautiful, amazing, auspicious life that I get to live.
Perfect.
Yes. So on that note, we will see you next time round. Thank you, dear Debz. Thank you, dear
Thank
listeners.
you, Moira. Thank you, listeners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beboos and Wawa.
Bye.